Hello and welcome to Health Wealth. I just came across some absolutely groundbreaking news from Intellia, so I wanted to make this really short and quick video to keep you updated on the latest developments. And I also wanted to take this quick opportunity to welcome all the new subscribers to my channel. Welcome! Although I have a PhD in biomedical engineering and over 15 years of working experience in the healthcare industry, I do not intend to give you investment advice. Please consider your own risk profile before making any investments and research your investments wisely. On June 26, 2021, Intellia and Regeneron announced landmark clinical data showing a deep reduction in disease-causing protein after only a single infusion of their treatment NTLA-2001, which is an investigational CRISPR therapy for transthyretin amyloidosis. The reason that this is a landmark clinical data is because this was the first ever clinical data supporting the safety and efficacy of an in vivo CRISPR genome editing performed in humans. And this is part of an ongoing phase 1 clinical trial, which followed 12 months of preclinical safety and efficacy testing. Maybe many investors did not realize this, so I mention it here, but pretty much all other companies who have advanced clinical trial programs to treat any type of disease with gene editing approaches do so ex vivo. In the ex vivo approach, cells are taken from the patient, are then genetically modified outside of the human body, and then can be quality controlled or checked basically if the edits were really correct and in the right place before they're being re-administered into the patient. And in this case, Intellia and Regeneron have done this in vivo. And this means that the gene edit was taking place inside of the patient's body. And you see, sometimes even in the clinical space, things can move quite fast, relatively speaking, because the first patients were dosed in November of 2020. And now we have the update from 6 patients who were treated with NTLA-2001. This interim phase 1 clinical trial data update provided by Intellia Therapeutics and Regeneron is about 6 patients who participated in 2 single ascending dose cohorts in the study. This means that either a single dose of 0.1 mg per kilogram or 0.3 mg per kilogram of NTLA-2001 were administered to the patients intravenously. The serum levels of misfolded transthyretin protein was measured as baseline and then up to 28 days following the infusion of NTLA-2001. And what we want to see as a result of the treatment is a marked reduction in misfolded transthyretin protein in the blood. And boy, did Intellia deliver. With a lower dose of their treatment, Intellia saw a 52% reduction in the amount of misfolded transthyretin protein and 87% in the case of the higher dose treatment. And these are just the average values. One patient in the higher dose even saw a 96% reduction in the misfolded protein. And now compare that to the standard of care. Instead of a one-time single-dose treatment, the standard of care requires chronic treatment and is capable of reducing misfolded transthyretin protein by only up to 80%. So at 87%, Intellia definitely already can show much better clinical data. The safety profile of this first ever clinically demonstrated in vivo gene editing treatment is very good. Intellia and Regeneron did not report any serious adverse events and also no particular findings on liver health and liver data. And based on these encouraging, promising results, NTLA-2001 is continued to be evaluated in the dose escalation portion of this phase 1 clinical study, and currently actually the third cohort, which are evaluated with the concentration of 1 milligram per kilogram of body weight, is being actively enrolled. And these groundbreaking clinical trial data updates from phase 1 have been published in the New England Journal of Medicine. And so then let's take a look at clinicaltrials.gov what the remainder of this planned phase 1 clinical study looks like. Intellia planning to enroll up to 38 patients in this phase 1 clinical trial study. We already know that it is broken down into two parts, first part being the single ascending dose, and the third cohort being recruited actually right now. The aim of the single ascending dose part of the study is to determine the clinically best suited and most adapted dose for treatment. And this dose then will be used in part 2, the single dose expansion study. And according to the current planning, this study should be completed by March 2024.